Look at that. You can't tell me that doesn't look like something you'd buy online. Alright guys, what's up? A lot has changed since the last video. Last night I couldn't sleep, so I came out here, got the headers put on, the alternator bracket with this nasty ass underwater.
All this new shit, and you still got this alternator?
Yeah.
Is this from the truck you stole the engine from, or what?
No, dude.
Man, I really hope that you put this on your video, because
Oh yeah,
that thing looks like it's been underwater.
Oh yeah. But today I'm gonna work on the steering, getting that finalized, messing with the column and everything like that. But I need to go get a few parts. I need some steering rod material and a few things. So we're gonna run over to Speedway. I've got the day off today, so I get to order online, do the curbside service, and go grab some parts. So let's head over there, grab that stuff, and then we'll come back and we'll get this steering all figured out and hopefully finished. Oh, story of my life. Here we are, good old Speedway Motors, 8701 West McDowell Road in Tucson, Arizona. Pull up here and see if these guys are gonna bring my parts out to me. Don't want to get the COVID. Do I gotta sign it?
I mean, you don't really have to.
I was gonna say Jones didn't make me sign it the other day. Cool.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see you. All right, got the steering shaft, some 3/4 inch hollow, the jam nuts for my tie rod ends that I forgot, and the firewall grommet. Let's go get some stuff done. Bro, McDonald's Coke, hell yeah. While I'm out, I'm also gonna check my P.O. box. I do have a P.O. box, guys, so if you want to send me like stickers or drawings or anything cool like that you want me to showcase or show on the channel, feel free to. The P.O. box is always in the description below. But yeah, I'm gonna go in and check it. I've had a few people send me stuff, so I mostly use it for when I send stuff out, but it is there, guys, if you guys want to send me, like I said, stickers or just little stuff. I don't ask for, you know, big items or anything like that, but just stickers or drawings or anything that you guys want to send me, it's in the description below. All right, so as I'm sitting here enjoying my hot and spicy, it made me wonder, everybody that I've ever talked to has had a group of friends or themselves put hot and spicy between the McDouble patties. And I want to know, what did you guys call it? My friends called it the Dub Spice. So it was a hot and spicy chicken patty in between the two burger patties on a McDouble. And this was back in high school. I mean, 15, 20 years ago, or however long it's been now, but I just really dated myself. But what did you guys call it? I've heard a lot of different names, but I can't remember all of them. But we called it a Dub Spice. I to this day have never tried it. I've never done it, but everybody that I've ever talked to has always had like one friend or a group of friends that used to do that. But just these weird thoughts that I get by myself in the garage. All right, back to the real reason everyone's here. So if you have an S10 or are building an S10, and you've done an LS swap or maybe even just a V8 350 swap, you know that header clearance to the steering column is really tight. They make special headers for it. They go around and everything, but they don't really make these up and forward turbo headers special for an S10, at least not that I've found. So when you're running these, the steering column comes out and runs right into this primary. Now I've seen where guys have cut this primary and looped it around the steering column and stuff, and that works great if you're using the stock steering. But I'm doing the rack and pinion now, so my steering's got to dive way down there. And I've channeled out the cross member and everything for the steering shaft to go through. But the angle from here down to there is just too much for one of the steering U-joints to handle. So what I've done, get under here. So what I've done is I've cut this hole just below where the stock steering column would have came out. It would have came out about like here. So it's moved down a couple inches. And now that hole fits this Motion Raceworks steering column perfectly. I am gonna have to cut this bracket off and then remake something to plug this big hole in the firewall. But moving it down there has made it so that I can get a straight shot down here to the steering rack and only use 2 U-joints. Because when you can do it in a straight shot and you have a U-joint here and a U-joint there, that's the easiest because you don't need a steering support. If you add a third U-joint in the middle of it and have 2 shafts, you have to have some sort of a support. So like a Heim joint or a bushing or something holding one of the shafts in place. Otherwise, it's gonna flop around and not work. So I'm gonna get to cutting this column up. So if you're easily offended, maybe fast forward, because I'm gonna take this Motion Racework column and cut the hell out of it. All right, and there we have it. Got the bracket all cut off. We're gonna slip this thing into place. I might have to trim this down shorter, so let's get it in there and see. All right, so I got this mocked up in here, and I just sat in here and checked like the steering wheel fitment and everything, because now that the column is further down, the steering wheel is going to be a little bit higher. And I've always kind of hated how close the steering wheel was to me already. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take 2 inches out of this, because this is just a tube with bushings in it. So I should be able to pull the bushing out, shorten this 2 inches, and then put it back in, and that will give me a lot better feel for the steering wheel. Plus it will lower it just a little bit and be further out. It won't be so close to me. But then I'll have to trim the actual shaft too out here. Because right here where it's coming out is a little bit too far to make the angle that I need down to here. So this mark here is the depth of my U-joint. Ideally, I need it to be like way up here. So I might take, actually, I don't think I can take any more off down here. But as long as I move this up and trim it so that when it's all said and done, it's only this long sticking out, then we'll probably be all right. Yeah, that's much better. Before it was like right here. It's much better. And after a bunch of back and forth and trimming and more trimming and trimming some more, I think I finally got it. So here's the shaft. I've just got it tacked together right now with my U-joints. That's the splined one for the rack and pinion. And this is the one that's gonna go to the column. Now with this round shaft, these are weld-on type U-joints. They also make the double D, they call it. So it has a flat spot on both sides, and they use like a pinch bolt to hold it in place. But with this round rod, you have to weld it. And the last time I had this welded to the column shaft too, because it's round. But this time I'm gonna use a through bolt. I'm gonna put a bolt through this and the column to make it so that it's serviceable. Before with it welded, there's no way to take the column out of the truck or the steering apart without cutting it. So I think this is gonna save some headache. It's gonna be just as strong. So it's got I believe it's a 5/16 bolt that's gonna pinch through that and the steering column. And then as you can see, I've got the steering column as short as possible. I mean, it's barely peeking through the firewall right there. And then it is really tight right here where I put in this piece of pipe. My measurements were off by just a little bit. So it's really close to right here. I might have to get in here with a grinder and clearance this just a little bit. But for right now, it's not touching. But you know, if anything was to relax or something like that, it may touch. So I'm gonna get in here and kind of clean this up a little bit as best as I can. But other than that, I'm gonna finish welding this thing up, and then all that's left to do is paint it black and hit the track. Another thing that's important when you're welding these joints on, guys, is you wanna phase them. So see how the flat spot and this flat spot are in line? I mean, it's not as important with steering because it's, you know, slow moving, like as the drive line. You want to do the same thing on the drive shaft, but it's a little bit more critical because it's spinning faster. You still need to get these relatively straight. So just a little tip there. Look at that. You can't tell me that doesn't look like something you'd buy online. I made this little plate here to block off the big hole in the firewall, welded it to it. Looks just like it did before, just lower. Let's get it put back in the truck and get this thing finalized. All right, guys, we have steering. It's all finished up. See there, the plate in, bolted through, going down to the rack. And that was a lot of work, but hopefully it'll be worth it, because now we've saved weight from the big bulky gearbox that used to be here. No longer have a power steering pump and fluid and lines. So it was a lot of work. As you can see, it's tight through there, but hopefully it'll pay off. Shed some weight on the front of this thing. That's gonna do it for this video though. Next video, I'm probably gonna start doing the tube front end, getting these frame rails hacked off. I kind of been putting it off because I don't really want to do it. Because I figure worst case scenario, I can just leave them. But I think I'm going to do it because I've got that wider radiator that I want to put up here, and it's wider than the frame rails. So we're going to need to do something. So I might as well cut it off, start fresh, start building all the stuff start building it. What am I trying to say? Make room for all the stuff that I need to put up in the front of this truck. So all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a comment, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel too. We're almost at 7,000 subscribers. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everything, and I'll see you on the next one. This lighting is crazy.